Before today's episode, I just want everyone to go ahead and hit pause and go get your Reynolds wrap, because today we have a tinfoil extravaganza and I don't want any complaints of you guys being turned into oatmeal brains. Last July, a little-known DNC staffer named Seth Rich was gunned down in an alleged armed robbery gone wrong on a seedy street corner in D.C. Except nothing was actually stolen, despite the fact that he had over $2,000 worth of jewelry and money on him at the time. The police never got any leads, there were no witnesses, and Seth's murder just sort of passed by the wayside as bigger and scarier news took precedence. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Fox News shows up with a report from an ex-homicide detective turned PI and an anonymous FBI official that Seth Rich had been communicating with Wikileaks. Though communicating is putting it lightly, the report claimed that Rich had forwarded 44,000 DNC emails and over 17,000 attachments to Wikileaks between January of 2015 and May 2016. Supposedly, he forwarded all these emails to Gavin McFadden, who is now also dead, by the way, but by natural means, and then McFadden popped them over to the rest of the WikiLeaks people. WikiLeaks then began publishing the emails on July 22nd, only 12 days after Rich's murder. The timing is interesting at the very least, and the Fox source was oddly very specific about the exact number of emails forwarded on to WikiLeaks. And if you followed the news back then, WikiLeaks claimed all along that their source was from within Washington. According to Fox's FBI source, these emails and Rich's computer are in the possession of the FBI, and the forensic report of Rich's computer was made only 4 days after his death. Of course, the FBI denies all of these things. And to top it off, this PI, Rod Wheeler, accused the Washington Police Department of being involved in a cover-up and suggested that the mayor's office and the DNC itself had ordered the police to stand down, which, of course, the police deny.
Actually, I have a source inside the police department that has looked at me straight in the eye and said, Rod, we were told to stand down in this case, and I can't share any information with you.
But he was so patriotic, Rich's family says he would never do such a thing. Oh, but we're not done yet, because it gets weirder. Because then comes the information that this PI was apparently not allowed to talk to the press without the family's permission, and he has now apologized and says he doesn't actually have any evidence or saw any emails or any computer, and that all the reports on this are wrong, and that this statement...
But you have sources at the FBI saying that there is information could link Seth Rich to WikiLeaks?
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's confirmed.
Was only a miscommunication. The family released a professional statement calling it fake evidence and said that even if the emails were to show up, they're probably fake. The family and more liberal-leaning news outlets claim that this is a right-wing conspiracy and have even suggested its sole purpose is to distract everyone from Trump and Russia. I mean, isn't everything these days? But the fun thing about this statement is that it was crafted by Brad Bauman, a Democrat crisis PR consultant that was hired by the family. He claims that all of this is really just a secret war between two political consultants and told the Daily Beast that if God exists, he will shut down Fox's editorial department. Then a Twitter account that's supposed to belong to Julian Assange retweeted the Fox story. Then NBC reported that a financial advisor from Texas, who also happens to contribute to Fox and Breitbart, suggested the family hire Wheeler and offered to pay for the whole thing, though he claims that he hasn't actually paid for anything yet and didn't actually ever hire anyone. WikiLeaks, meanwhile, is offering a reward for information leading to a conviction in the murder, and Assange himself has spoken about the case on Dutch TV, though he neither confirmed nor denied Rich's supposed connection to WikiLeaks, but he never confirms or denies anyone's connection to WikiLeaks. So my question is, who's lying? And if this is supposed to be the distraction that liberal outlets claim, what is it a distraction from? Probably the whole Trump-Russia-Comey love triangle thing going on that people are comparing to Watergate, which I personally think is a little bit of a stretch. I mean, people still talk about Watergate, and probably no one's going to be talking about this after Trump is done being the president. But, I mean, maybe that's just my opinion, because I always just assume the government has ulterior motives. Hey, the government did something. shady and possibly illegal? See the surprised look on my face? I mean, geez, it's almost like the government is run by politicians who only care about themselves. Okay, so first, we have the appointment of Robert Mueller as the special counsel to oversee the Trump-Russia investigation. Most people are pretty happy with this, as Mueller served as FBI director under both Bush and Obama. Cool. Enter the Comey memo. For those of you who don't know, Comey and Trump allegedly had a meeting in February during which Trump asked Comey to drop the whole investigation into Michael Flynn by basically repeating over and over again that Flynn is a good guy, though this good guy was hired by Turkey to advocate for their interests to the tune of about $600,000, and due to that agreement blocked a U.S. military operation that Turkey opposed, and failed to tell anyone about this lobbying gig until after he was fired. Great guy. Anyway, so Trump had a conversation with Comey asking him to drop the investigation, and then Comey left the meeting and documented the conversation in a memo. Boom, the plot thickens. Now, at this time, no one has actually seen the memo, but parts of it were read to the New York Times by one of Comey's FBI BFFs. The White House, of course, denies all of it and denies engaging in anything even remotely close to obstruction of justice. Unfortunately, Comey has agreed to testify in an open hearing and supposedly has a lot more memos. Late on Tuesday, Jason Chaffetz of the House Oversight Committee demanded the FBI turn over all memos, notes, and recordings they might have of any discussions between Trump and Comey, but also announced he's resigning to go work on Fox News. Some lawmakers, though, are saying the burden of proof should be on the Times for reporting the original memo and not on the FBI. All of this has raised the rally cries for impeachment, and all of that would probably be enough for the people who want to see it happen. But wait! There's more. Reuters is now reporting that Michael Flynn and other members of Team Trump had at least 18 undisclosed contacts with Russia during the last 7 months of the 2016 election. According to the report, most of these calls and emails were about improving relations and establishing backdoor communication outside of the usual national security red tape, but in and of themselves don't actually provide any evidence of collusion. As I was writing this video, the Times broke the news that a U.S. official read them another memo, this one from the day after Trump fired Comey, in which he told Russian officials, "I just fired the head of the FBI. He was crazy, a real nut job. I faced great pressure because of Russia. Now that's taken off." Ouch. Also, the meeting that he said this in was the same meeting with Russian officials in which he kind of sort of accidentally on purpose may or may not have disclosed Israeli counterterrorism intelligence. Whoops! Despite reports saying this could jeopardize the government's intelligence sources, National Security Advisor McMaster said the conversations were wholly appropriate. So appropriate, in fact, that he used that exact phrase 9 times in one briefing. And finally, if you're still with me, the Washington Post published a transcript of a secret recording from Paul Ryan's office that either suggests collusion or else suggests that the White House has lame jokes. The conversation took place last year and was between Paul Ryan, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, House Majority Whip Steve Scalise, and Conference Chair Kathy McMorris Rodgers. In the transcript, conversation turns to the sophistication of Russian propaganda and how we are the only ones standing up against it. Oh, just pat yourself on the back there, Polly Paul. Then, McCarthy says the Russians hacked the DNC and got the op research they had on Trump. Laughs. He goes on, there's 2 people I think Putin pays. Rohrabacher and Trump. Laughter. Swear to God. This is an off-the-record laughter. No leaks laughter, all right? More laughter. This is how we know we're a real family here. That's how you know that we're tight. More laughter. What's said in the family stays in the family. Now, to me, indicated by the amount of times the word laughter appears, this seems like a joke, but let me know what you guys think. Either way, Ryan and friends first denied the conversation took place, and then after the WAPO said, no, we have a recording, now suddenly, oh, that was just a joke. But, joke or not, it's serious enough that other lawmakers are freaking out that they too might have been secretly recorded. No one knows or has said where the recording came from, which Washington finds really concerning because, oh no, someone might actually be held accountable for the crap they say. Anyways, that is it. That is the end. If you have reached this point in the video, you are a champion, and I thank you. If you liked this video, hit the like button. If you're new and like what you see, click to subscribe, and let me know what you guys think about this whole tinfoil rabbit hole thing going on. I do actually read every single comment I get, and I love hearing from you guys. As always, if you really like my videos and want to help support my channel, you can also check me out over on Patreon. Until next week, thanks for watching and helping me to spread the message of liberty.